Okay, guys, I hope you're able to hear me okay. I've got the dryer going here, but it's a busy day today, and so let's get started. So like I said, I've got a number of things going on today. We're having family for supper, and so of course I go all out. I'm doing a Peruvian chicken. I'm doing a green sauce that goes with the Peruvian chicken, and I'm doing a broccoli salad. So to start with, I need to get these chickens marinating, and I'm going to start that right now. My name's Connie. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're not new to the channel, welcome back. Um, I'm a mom of 9 children. They don't all live over here. They are adults, many of them with children of their own. But I still cook as if they were all home, much to my husband's chagrin. And when we do have family gatherings, I always cook way too much. For one, we use a lot of leftovers. Also, typically, I just want to make sure everybody gets as much as they want. So let's start. I've got 3 chickens that we're going to do today. And so I'm doubling this recipe. So I've got in here the juice of 1 lemon, freshly squeezed. The other thing I've started to do is when I use lemons, and we use a lot of them here, I'm keeping them and I zest the outside before I throw out the skin, because lemon zest is not cheap to buy, and why throw it out if I can make something out of it. So now I'm going to put in, again, this is doubled, so I will post the original recipe where it's not doubled, and but I'm doubling it. So I'm doing 4 tablespoons of olive oil. I need to get these chickens marinating. I like to let the marinade sit on there for a bit. And it calls for 2 teaspoons of sugar. So I'm putting 4, and you really do want it. I'm telling you, it makes a difference. Okay. Good go. All right, and I'm doing a tablespoon of cumin. So 3 teaspoons, because my tablespoon is wet. I actually put a little extra. I love cumin. It's one of my favorite flavors. So I'm putting 4 teaspoons of cumin, and it calls for paprika. I'm using smoked paprika, and I'm supposed to put 2 teaspoons. Two teaspoons of oregano and 2 teaspoons of salt. One teaspoon of ground pepper. And I need 8 cloves of garlic. So I'm just going to use a whole head. And this is my new way to peel it, and it works amazing. Peeling garlic is one of my most dreaded things to do, and it peeled every clove. So you take 2 bowls that are the same size, metal bowls, throw them in there, and then shake it together for 8 seconds, and you've got peeled garlic. So I do want this kind of fine, and I don't get it fine when I do it by hand. So I'm just going to use my chopper. And there we go. So I've made this before, not on video, I don't think. But I'm telling you, this Peruvian sauce, I could drink it. It's one of my favorite marinades now. And not just for chicken. I'm going to stir this all together. It's kind of a paste. And I'm going to rub that all over the chickens. That's good. I'm going to put more oil. I just want it a little bit thinner. So now we're going to rub it all over the chicken. These chickens have been dried, washed and dried. I think I'm going to do the bottom first. The flavor in this recipe is amazing. And the longer you can let it marinate, the more it's going to flavor the chicken. And there's a sauce we're going to make to go with it. So these are small chickens, and the recipe I think is for a larger one. So that's why I only doubled it. I think there'll be enough to do all three without tripling the recipe, because some of these are pretty small. This one's a little bigger. And this recipe is, like I said, a Pampered Chef recipe, and it was actually created for using in the air fryer on the rotisserie. But it only holds one chicken, and I need to do 3. So I'm going to do it in the oven. And they will cook at 400 degrees. I'm going to do them on this cookie sheet that I have lined with tin foil. And it'll take about an hour, in my opinion. I like my chicken well done. And seemingly when I cook it according to temperature, the thigh area just doesn't get as done as I like it. So I would rather overcook my chicken because it stays moist with this sauce on it. I don't think so. This is what it looks like as you get it rubbed in. Okay. Now I'm going to try to fit these all in this one bag to marinate for a few hours. I'll put them in the fridge. I don't know if I'm going to get all 3. I think I'm just going to do 2 in this one. Just kind of rub it around. And throughout the couple hours that I'm going to marinate it, I'll turn it a few times, rub it again, just try to get it all in there. And then we'll put this one in a bag as well. Okay, so all these three are in their marinade. Again, I'll keep turning them, keep rubbing it. But the flavor is so good in this recipe. And in my opinion, it's quite unique. So this is going to go in the fridge. Trying to find room in the fridge is one of the hardest tasks of the whole day. Okay, let's clean up this mess and make another. Okay, so the next recipe that we're going to make is for a Peruvian green sauce to be served with the chicken. It's again another Pampered Chef recipe, and it calls to do it in the blender, and I'm so okay with that. So let's get started. The first thing I need, again, I'm doubling this because I love the sauce. I love it as a salad dressing even. My son loves it. It's just a really flavorful sauce. So I'm putting the juice of 1 lemon in my blender. So again, I'm doubling the recipe. So it was, and both these recipes called for limes, but I'm using lemon. I don't see a lot of difference in the flavor. So that's the juice of 1 lemon, and it's in my blender. So the next ingredient is half a bunch of cilantro, but I'm using a whole. And they say to use the stems too. So I'm just chopping it roughly to go in the blender, because sometimes those stems can get caught in the blades. But I have no problem using the stems. A lot of people throw them out. I just think that's wasteful. There is, especially when it's being blended like this, there's a lot of flavor in those stems. And I need a jalapeno. So I've already had these washed. So I need 2. I'm putting 4 cloves of garlic because I'm doubling the recipe. 2 tablespoons of vinegar. I'm just using white. Typically I would use apple cider, but it's not readily handy right now and I'm in a rush. So, and half a cup of Parmesan. And I know I've said this before. If you didn't hear it though, this is my favorite Parmesan cheese. I get it at Costco. It's a Riviera brand. And it actually looks like shredded cheese, not like the stuff in the jar. Well, we might get a little more. This sounds like a weird combination, to be honest. The Parmesan cheese really steps it up, though. And then I need half a teaspoon of salt. And then it calls for, with doubling, half a cup of, no, 1 cup of mayo. But I am going to do half mayo and half Greek yogurt. I just like the flavor better. And I don't know, this is maybe more than half a cup. Doesn't really matter. Those peppers are going to flavor this. And as will that cilantro. And you can always adjust seasonings afterward. And half a cup of Greek yogurt. There we go. And that's it. And we're going to blend that together. Oh yeah, I licked my hands. And I have jalapeno juice on them. Thing I don't mind spicy. All right, so it just said to pulse it. Oh my goodness. It's a little nippy, although it could be because my fingers have jalapeno on it. But here you go, guys. It's a thin sauce, but it's perfect for salad dressing or to drizzle it on the chicken. I have some plastic squeeze bottles. I'm going to put it in one of those and put it in the fridge, and it will be ready. Okay, so there's 2 of our recipes done. I'll be back in a bit and we'll do the salad. Okay guys, so our plans actually have changed for supper tonight, which in our house, plans fluctuate a lot. So you have to be flexible, and I'm okay with that because now we're going to do dinner tomorrow night. And so the chicken in the sauce, the chicken's marinating. I'm going to let it marinate overnight. That's better anyway. You get more flavor. I was feeling a little bit rushed. I still have to kind of tidy up and sweep and everything. So this gives me a little bit of breathing space. But since I have many of the things already prepared, I'm going to go ahead. The next thing on the menu is a broccoli salad. And a broccoli salad, for one, is incredibly good for you. I'm actually mixing broccoli and cauliflower. So what I'm doing, I've already got my broccoli and cauliflower chopped up. The other thing I love about a broccoli salad is it's actually better the next day. So this works beautifully. So many salads, they pretty much need to be eaten right away if they're leafy greens, that kind of thing, unless it's kale. So this is great because you can make it up a day before. You can make extra and have it for a couple days for leftovers, work lunches, whatever it is. So let's get started. So to make a broccoli salad, you're probably not going to like this because I don't measure these ingredients, but I just mix up some of the dressing, put it in the bowl. If I need more, I start throwing in more ingredients. So just track with me. I'm sorry, I'm not all that conventional. I'm also using a sugar substitute. So the first thing I'm going to start with is my dressing. I'm going to start it in the bowl. I like lots of dressing. I've got lots of broccoli here. I hate a dry salad. So I'm just going to start with a couple spoons. I'm using apple cider vinegar, and I just put in kind of a splash. And then instead of sugar, I use monk fruit. So I'm going to throw some of that in. So I'm just going to stir that up. Just taste it and see how it turns out. And I'm not sure that's going to be enough to cover all the broccoli and the things that I want to put in here. But you're just basically adjusting for thickness and the ratio of sweet to sour with the vinegar and the sweetener. So that needs more sweetener. And I think it's going to need more mayonnaise as well, because I don't think we're going to have enough here. And I'd rather have it too much dressing than not enough. And I've also, using different finger just in case you're worrying, I've also, gone for a couple days and just added more of whatever was getting low in the salad to refresh it and increase it. Okay, that's good. That's really good. So that's all you need for your dressings. I mean, you can put dill in it, you can put mustard, you can do all kinds of things, but I like it simple. So I'm going to set that here. I'm going to throw these vegetables in. Yeah, I could never get it in right in the bowl. I'm going to mix that much up just to make room. So even if I don't think there's enough sauce on this tonight, I'm gonna leave it sit overnight and I'll check it tomorrow, because sometimes the broccoli and stuff kind of shrinks up, the sauce melds in better. So I'm not gonna make any judgments tonight. This is what I'm doing for today. And then we'll check on it tomorrow. I can always add more mayo. I can add more of anything that I've already put in. I don't think I will need it, because I think some of the moisture from the vegetables will go through the salad and kind of, you know, water down the dressing a little bit. But I've had it like a couple days after making it, and it really does hold up well. So there's only 2 other ingredients that I'm putting in this. Okay. Thought I saw a piece. And that's red onion and grapes. And you wouldn't believe what a difference those 2 things make in this salad. It takes it from good to amazing. So I've washed these grapes, and all I'm doing is cutting them in half, throwing them in. I should have had this done, but I figure, you know, while I'm doing it, we could visit. How are things going? We're almost the end of February. Don't know. I mean, I thought I came home February 14th from Northern Ontario, and it was like +5 that day and sunny and just beautiful. And I thought, awesome. Now we're getting summer. And now we've been in a deep freeze and snow. So I don't know when summer's coming. I've got my seeds out and my calendar set up. I do need to start some of them inside, but I've got the last frost date. And for anybody in our area, the predicted last frost date this year is May 22nd. So if you're going to plant stuff outside, it should be after that. But it's almost time to start the indoor seeds, so I don't have to buy plants this year. I can just transplant my own. And this is my first year doing this. And I'm going to work in a bit of a collaboration with my daughter, who lives even further north than us. She's about 6 hours north from here. And that girl can grow gold from dust. Like, she just has a green thumb. I don't think she should be able to do a lot of the things she does with the climate up there, but she does it. And so we're going to check in with her a few times, see how she's doing, what stage she's at. She is a wealth of knowledge, so she can share with us. And I'm going to start some seeds. I mean, my green thumb, I don't know where she got hers, but it wasn't from me. It was probably from her grandmother. Although my mom mostly grew, well, they did have a garden a little bit, but mostly she loves flowers, and Stephanie loves flowers as well. Okay, so almost at the end of the grapes. Anyway, are you guys growing a garden this year? Like, what is your plan? I'd really like to know. And what would you be growing if you did? I have all my seeds sorted, but I mean, I have a lot of different kinds of seeds, and I don't want to plant a lot here this year because we still have our house for sale. I don't want to plant all that and then end up moving. I think this one's going to go to the worms. But there's just some necessities for me, and I think if I had to pick, number one, fresh tomatoes. There is nothing that compares to a fresh tomato out of the garden versus the stuff you buy in a store. And then fresh green beans are another favorite. And I'd like to grow some dill, and then herbs. Like, herbs a whole other story. I did better last year with my basil, which has been good. Cilantro I've never had good luck with. So I'm going to keep working on that, and I'm going to start my own So I'm going to get this red onion going. The thing I hate on onions and garlic is that paper skin. I don't know what it is that really bugs me about it. Anyway, garlic I would love to grow, but it needs to be planted in the fall. So I didn't do it last fall, and I'm hoping I won't be here this fall. Might plant it in my new garden, wherever that ends up being. All right, so cutting onions. You probably know this, I did not. Leave the root end on. If you're chopping the onion, leave the root end on. If you're slicing it, you can go ahead and take it off. If you're slicing onions, they say it's better to slice them lengthways, not across and getting orbital slices, but you want these lengthways slices. If you're chopping, you cut through, try not to cut through to the end. Sorry, I know my hand's in the way. And then just do as thick or as thin as you want. I mean, Gordon Ramsay does this so fast. I still think he speeds up his video. I don't really think you can be that quick, but he seems to. He also has sharper knives, and that actually is a big factor I've found, and I've actually been learning to sharpen my own knives. Don't know if I've done it right. There we go. Same with this one. I'm putting a whole onion in because I've got quite a big pot full of broccoli and cauliflower. And the red onion just gives it that little bit of tang to combat the, I wouldn't say blandness, but just kind of not a, there's no spice obviously in broccoli. And red onions are so hit and miss for me. Sometimes I get them and they're sweet, and sometimes they're hot as Hades. Same with jalapenos. When I was making that green sauce, I actually had to go back and put more yogurt and mayo in it because it was hot, and it wasn't just because I was licking it off my fingers and I had touched the jalapenos. It was hot. I tried it with a spoon. And I know, like, when we make pickles and salsa, I just don't find there's a consistency with peppers on the heat level. You get one jalapeno that's, you know, not that hot, and others that would set you on fire. Okay, guys, so this is it. I'm just going to stir this up. I have a lid that goes on this bowl, and it's going to sit overnight. And all those flavors are going to blend. Did see that one. And then tomorrow I will check it and adjust seasonings if I need to. But I think it's going to be good. Feels like there's a good amount of dressing in the bowl. And I just want to get it mixed up so all those flavors can combine really well. Yeah, like there's a lot of dressing in there. I think we're good. So tomorrow night's supper is going to be easy. I have most of it done. I just have to bake the chicken, which is putting it in the oven. And then I may do rice or something, but it won't be anything complicated. The salad's already done. And there we go. Broccoli, cauliflower, grape, and red onion. So I'm going to make it the same part of this video. I'll be back tomorrow when all this stuff gets cooked, and I'll show you the final results. Hopefully it all turns out, but we'll see. Anyway, now that I got all that work done, yeah, I think I might grab a cup of tea. Have a good night, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. I roasted my chickens for about 30 minutes at 400 breast side up, and then I turned it over and roasted it for another 45 minutes breast side down. I turned it over again just to crisp the top, and it was delicious.